guys, my name is Courtney Budzyn and this is What's for Din. Today I'm going to be showing you how to make the best chocolate cupcake you will ever have in your entire life. And I'm not trying to brag, but it really is that good. And at the end I'm going to show you we're going to put some chocolate ganache topping on along with a chocolate buttercream frosting that is just out of this world. So if you're ready to have a chocolate heart attack, then make these cupcakes. The ingredients are very simple, very few. You probably have all these laying around your house. You're going to just need some flour, some brown sugar, some white granulated sugar, some unsweetened cocoa powder, and then I have baking powder, baking soda, some salt, and some instant espresso powder. That's optional, but I feel like it helps bring out the chocolate flavor. You're also going to need some boiling hot water, and I'll talk more about that in a few minutes. You're going to need some whole milk, a couple of eggs, some vegetable oil. You're also going to need some vanilla extract, and I'm using vanilla bean paste just because that's what I like the most. So very, very simple. The first thing we're going to do is mix our dry ingredients. So I have my flour in my bowl already. I'm going to add my sugar, my cocoa powder, baking soda, baking powder, and all the other stuff that was in there. I can't think today. I'm just going to use a whisk and whisk this all together to get any clumps out, and then we'll move on to the next step. That's good enough. Now we're going to move on to mixing our wet ingredients. So in a bowl, I'm going to combine my milk, oil, eggs, and my vanilla bean paste. Add a whisk. Combine everything. I like to mix ingredients separately so that I can make sure they're all very evenly incorporated. Okay, now we're going to add the wet ingredients to the dry ingredients, and this is very easy to mix, so I just throw it all in at once. Make sure I get all of it out of the bowl. And I just mix with a spatula, and just be careful not to overmix. Okay, now that that's nicely mixed, this is the part where we're going to use the boiling water. Now, you may be wondering, why in the world would you put boiling water into a cake batter? Well, what this does is it helps to bloom. It's called blooming the chocolate, and it just really helps all the chocolate flavors to come out and activate the gluten. There's probably some more scientific hoopla that goes along with that, but I have no idea. So all I know is it blooms the chocolate, and it really does make a difference. So what you want to do is start very little at a time. You don't want to add a ton because then you'll scramble your eggs. So add a little bit, mix. And this is a very runny batter, so don't be alarmed if it looks soupy. That's what it's supposed to look like. All right, last bit. All right, that's nice and mixed. Easy enough. Now I'm just going to take my ice cream scoop, and you can see how runny that is. And I know you're like, oh my gosh, that's going to be totally wrong. But trust me on this. You want to fill them up about halfway because they are going to puff up in some muffin liners, or cupcake liners, I should say. You could do whichever you want if you have a muffin pan. Make sure you have your oven preheating to 350. Okay, that's it. And now what we're going to do is throw these in the oven, like I said, 350 degrees for about 20 minutes, or until you insert either a toothpick or a clean knife and it comes out clean. So I will show you what it looks like when it's there. So now we're going to move on to the chocolate buttercream frosting, and I'm super excited about making this. I'm not a big frosting person. I usually scrape it off because it's too sweet. But this is one of those frostings that I could just eat by itself out of the bowl. So what I have here is some softened butter, and then I have some semi-sweet chocolate chips that I just threw in the microwave and melted at 30-second increments. Then you can use some vanilla extract. I'm using vanilla bean paste, and then you're going to need some powdered sugar. So the first step you're going to do is we want to beat this until it's light and fluffy, so that's about 2 to 3 minutes. Okay. That's about the consistency I'm looking for. You can see it's nice and fluffy. All right, so now what we're going to do is add a little bit of the powdered sugar at a time because you don't want a white face. Okay, just scrape down the side of your bowl. Make sure you're getting the bottom because it likes to stick to the bottom. And then we're going to mix it up one more time to make sure everything's thoroughly mixed together. Okay, so now I'm just going to add a little bit of my vanilla bean paste and my cooled melted chocolate. You want to make sure it's cooled. You don't want it scorching hot. Give it a good mix. Oh yeah, that looks perfect. Ooh, look at that. Now tell me you don't want to stick your finger in that, because I do. Okay, so now all I have here is just a regular Ziploc baggie, and I just put in a piping tip. You don't have to do that. I'm just doing it for the sake of my thumbnail looking good, so you'll click on it. But otherwise, I would just cut a hole in the Ziploc and use it to pipe on that way. So I just stick it in a cup so it's easier to spoon in, and I just kind of slop it in there. Okay, and I'm just gonna leave it in a cup for now because we're going to prepare our chocolate ganache. My cupcakes just came out of the oven, so we have to let them cool completely, and then we'll assemble them up and they'll look beautiful. So to make the ganache topping, all I have here is some bittersweet chocolate. Normally you use semi-sweet, but I'm weird and I like bittersweet better. And I have some hot, heavy whipping cream here. I'm just gonna pour over top of this. And then I'm just gonna let it sit and don't touch it for about 2 minutes and allow that all to melt. Then we'll mix it up. Give this a good stir. So now we are going to assemble them. So I take just a little teaspoon and I just kind of drop some of this right on top. And you can kind of smooth it if you want to. Just like that. And then you want to allow time for it to set. And you can either do that in the refrigerator or just out in the open like this is fine, but it'll be faster in the refrigerator. Got all the ganache on the top of the cupcakes, and now I'm starting to put on my icing. So like I said, I have an attachment, and if you don't have one, you don't have to worry about it. You can just cut off the end of your Ziploc baggie and then go from there. Swirl it like that, and then finish it off with some mini chocolate chips just for a little bit of decoration. And there you have it. It's not the prettiest thing in the book, but I am not a professional baker, and all I know is it tastes good. So I'm going to finish these up. Okay, my cupcakes are all done. They don't look picture perfect, but they look delicious, and that's all that matters to me. And I'm about to tear this bad boy up. Oh my goodness. This may be really awkward watching me bite into this, but it's all over my mouth, isn't it? This is the best cupcake in the entire world, but you definitely need some milk to wash it down. If you are craving some serious chocolate, this is your savior, I promise you. So I hope you enjoyed spending time with me, and if you want all the measurements for this recipe, please look below in the description box. I also leave the directions. And if you do remake this recipe, please tag me on Instagram. I'll leave my username below as well. Please don't forget to subscribe because I have many more recipes to come and I don't want you to miss out. Subscribing is free. All you have to do is make a YouTube account, just in case you didn't know how to do that. But thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you soon. Bye. If you want all the measurements for this recipe, please look below in the description box. I also leave the directions. That's a blooper.